and salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be talking about all of my favorite book girlfriends. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be filming today because it is a Valentine's Day themed video. Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday of all time. Okay, I love it more than any other holiday. I just adore it. I'm a romance reader, okay? I love love. So I have seen this trend or type of video done before, but typically people do it with book boyfriends. However, you know, as a bi girl, I need to show some love to the girls, to the ladies, to the sexy women in books, because there are so many strong, independent, stunning, badass women in romance books, and I kind of want to shout them out today. These are all of my favorite book girlfriends in romance books. These are also some of my favorite books in general, so I'll have some really good recommendations for you. A lot of these books give such female empowerment vibes, and they're so badass, and they inspire me, but also if I saw these girls in person, I'd be like, girl, can I get your number? Can I get your number, please? So the first book I'm going to talk about is Zeni by Rebecca Weatherspoon. Our heroine's name is Zeni, obviously. I adore her. Okay, I don't even like contemporary romances that much, but this one I think about constantly and I recommend endlessly. I'll give you the general premise and the plot, and then I'll explain why I love her so much. So this is a contemporary arranged marriage romance. Our heroine's aunt was a famous actress and singer, and she recently passed away. She had quite a bit of money, and when they read the will, Zeni realizes that her aunt left her a house as well as a good portion of money, but all of that money came with stipulations. Basically, what the rule is that she has to marry a man of her aunt's choosing, and that is where Mason comes in. Mason was a friend of her aunt's, and he is also getting a portion of money through the will. They both have reasons as to why they need this money, so they agree to get married, marriage of convenience, and it follows their romance, and I adore it. Some of our characters in this book are openly bi, and it is a spicy, steamy, fun contemporary romance. It has a little bit of pegging in it, okay? Heroine is sexy, she's a little dominant, but she's also very kind and very intelligent, and I just adore her, and she is the perfect book girlfriend. Next up is a romance book that I recently read and quickly became my favorite book ever. Like literally ever, and that is Serpentine Valentine by Gianna Darling. I have a whole dedicated reading vlog to this book because I was just crying, squealing, screaming, kicking my little feet and giggling over this book. I love it so much. It's a sapphic Medusa retelling with some dark academia vibes. I am down so bad. I am down so bad for a heroine Lex in this book. Like I love her. I love her. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me tell you guys, as I was reading this book, I knew that this was going to be an all-time favorite. It just had that feeling. The writing is so lyrical and beautiful. It has the dark academia vibes, lots of references of classic literature and Greek mythology, also some like pop culture sprinkled in. So like the writing is so flowery and lyrical and stunning. I'll probably tell you what the actual book is about. So it follows our heroine Lex, who in the beginning of the book, this is a darker book, so I would read the trick warnings. In the beginning of the book, she is assaulted by a man that she thought she could trust, one of her professors. When it happens, the people that she thought were supposed to protect her don't. School is trying to cover it up. People are blaming her for it. And she comes back to the school basically on a revenge mission, okay? She wants the man who hurt her to pay. She also wants revenge on the president of the university because she is a woman who basically tried to protect the man that hurt her. Part of that revenge is seducing the president of the university's daughter. Okay, that's where the sapphic romance comes in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am down so bad for Lex. I'm down so bad for her. I love her, okay? She is probably the strongest, most beautifully written female character that I've ever read about in a romance book before. That's a bold statement, but I'm making it, okay? I adore her. I love her. I love this book. Cannot rave about it enough. So absolutely Lex is a book girlfriend. The next couple books are kind of gonna expose me a little bit because a lot of these women are dominant. Yeah, they are. I am exposed. I love romance books that have like a dominant heroine, submissive man situation. I love a reverse age gap where the heroine is a little bit older. I love that shit. So these next three have that. My next book girlfriend is Maggie. Her book is called Mercy by Sarah Kate. This is the fourth book in the Salacious Player series. You can technically read it out of order, but I do love the whole series in general. This is a BDSM romance with an older heroine, a younger guy, dominant heroine, submissive man. I'm going to give you an overview of what the Salicious Player Club series is. So it follows a group of friends who created this BDSM club together. They were all kind of like working for corporate America, and they decide to branch out into their own business. They create this app that matches people with their kinks. So you like find who you're compatible with, and it opens up this BDSM club. A couple of different owners in the business, so each book follows their romance. In this book, Maggie ends up taking the quiz, the app that they created that kind of like matches her with her perfect person based on her kinks. She ends up finding out that she is a female dom, which is really nothing that she's ever explored before. She has a connection and a chemistry with someone that she did not expect. Like I said, there are multiple people running this business, so one of her best friends and co-owners of this business has a son, and that is who she has a romance with. So best friend's son romance? I don't know. There's an age gap. It's pretty forbidden. It's scandalous, but it's amazing. I love it so much. I adore it. I love our characters. I love this romance. It's spicy, it's steamy, and Maggie is one of my favorite book girlfriends. Another dominant heroine that I absolutely adore is Erica from The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. This is another age gap romance. Our heroine Erica is recently going through a divorce. She finds her husband cheating on her. She really takes this experience to have a glow up, okay? She's bettering herself. She leaves her husband, her trash husband. She gets some surgeries that she's been wanting for a really long time. She is out in the backyard sunbathing topless. The girlies are out, and guess who's outside? Her pool boy. They share a very steamy moment, but what's scandalous about that is that her pool boy is her best friend's son. I love an age gap. I love an age gap so freaking much. This one sounds very spicy and steamy, and it is, but it's also very emotional, very romantic. Both of our characters bond over their love of music, and it's such a great read. I highly recommend it. And I think this is my last one with a dominant heroine, and that is Being Hers by Anna Stone. This is a sapphic BDSM romance. Anna Stone writes a ton of sapphic romances on Kindle Unlimited, and I typically enjoy most of the books I read by her. So in this one of our heroines is working at like an upscale bar. She sees this beautiful woman across the room, and they share a moment. Their chemistry, electric. Well, it turns out that that is actually the owner of the bar, her boss, and they end up entering into like this very steamy, scandalous BDSM relationship. Again, this book is sexy. I love it so much. I love our dom in this book. Perfect book girlfriend. I love the way she takes care of our other heroine, and this one is the best. And I know I said I was done talking about dominant heroines, but I have another one that I love. This is Spitfire by Christy Caldwell. This is a historical romance. It's the last book in the Wicked Wallflower series, but you can read it out of order. Actually, wait, you can't read the series out of order, but this is the last book, and it is the only standalone. So the rest you do have to read in order, but this is a standalone. Did that make any sense? I have no idea. This one is kind of like an opposites attract romance. Our hero, Henry, is a duke, and he was badly beaten in the streets of London, almost to like the point of death. Our heroine, Clara, finds him, nurses him back to health. They have a really like sweet, precious moment together, but they end up going their separate ways, not really exchanging names, and they think that they're never going to see each other again. Well, it turns out that our hero is a duke who works in Parliament, and he accidentally sends our heroine a letter to close her business, trying to open up an opera house, but Parliament is not giving the proper permits needed to do so. She storms into the hero's office. She is pissed, especially because she literally saved his life, and it follows their romance. This one has a dominant heroine and a submissive man. Our hero is a virgin who literally worships the ground that she walks on. Mommy, I love you. Love you. So I have a couple of historical romances that I want to talk about. I love dominant women and badass women, but I also love intelligent women, and that is like the next two I want to talk about. The first one is Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. Oh, Hester. Hester is another one of those heroines that is just like my favorite, my favorite period. Hester is perfect. Like, she's so beautifully written. So this book takes place during the time of the Underground Railroad. Our heroine Hester is a safe house in the Underground Railroad, and that is how she meets our hero Galen under his moniker the Black Daniel. He is known as the Black Daniel because he frees African-American slaves. Actually very badly injured when she meets him, so he goes to her safe house and she kind of like nurses him back to health. It follows the romance. What I love about this heroine is that she is so intelligent, so kind, so passionate about what she believes in. What's great about this romance is that her relationship with our hero only enhances that. He supports her and recognizes that she is this independent, badass woman, just stunning. I love Hester so much. She is an activist. She is everything that I would inspire to be. I adore her. I adore this book. One of my favorite historical romances of all time. Another one that I love is another sapphic romance, and it is Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite. I love both of our heroines in this book, so both of them are going to be book girlfriends. The book starts off with following our heroine Lucy, who studies astronomy and the stars. She's a little scientist. Many years she has worked closely with her father, who was a scientist and a researcher, but he passes away. Really trying to make a name for herself in the scientific community and also publish a book, but it's very difficult because she doesn't have many connections because she is a woman. It's actually how she meets our heroine Catherine. Our heroine Catherine is a huge influence into the scientific community. Ex-husband, who has passed away, was a scientist himself, but she has a lot of money and is a huge benefactor for the community. Ends up letting Lucy stay at her house and offering to finance her scientific endeavors, and in that follows their romance. They're both such strong, intelligent women. Like, our heroine is literally studying astronomy and writing and publishing novels. She's so brilliant and I absolutely love them. I love them as a couple so much, but they're also both, like, individually the perfect book girlfriends, so that's why I'm including them. Hi, hello, Editing Sam here. I was editing this video and I realized I left out one of my favorite book girlfriends, so I had to pop on here and talk about her real quick, even though I look like a goddamn mess. But the book that I forgot is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. This is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. There are a few books in this series and they all follow small town contemporary romances. I love every single one, but I especially feel drawn to this one because of the heroine and the way that I deeply relate to her. So I'll give you kind of the plot real quick. It follows Evelyn St. James, who is a social media influencer. She's had some really great success, but she has felt like she has lost pieces of herself and she's not really sure what makes her happy. So she decides to go to the last place that made her happy, and it is this small town called Lovelight Farms. The story kind of ties into the first book. In the first book, our couple is entering into a social media competition for their small business, their tree farm, where Evelyn kind of comes in because she is a social media influencer and she works with small businesses, and she just remembers being so happy in this small town, so she decides to temporarily move there. It does come with some complications because our hero Beckett also lives there. A couple of years ago, they met at a business retreat and had a one-night stand. It was sexy, okay? Their chemistry was off the charts, but they kind of went their separate ways, never expecting to see each other again. So this is their second chance romance. It really does follow both of our characters' journey in loving themselves and becoming more confident and finding what makes them happy. Both our hero and our heroine are kind of on that journey, but our heroine specifically is really focusing like on mental health and finding what makes her happy again. It's so deeply emotional and relatable, and just the way everything is written in this book is absolutely stunning. Everyone is so compassionate and so kind and so talented and driven, and just all of these things that I wish like the best version of myself could be. She's also struggling with mental health and these periods of intense sadness, which I can relate to so much. When I read this book, I was literally sobbing. I loved it so much that I do have a tattoo on my arm. A tattoo on my arm. It says "Find your happy," which is a phrase that our hero says to our heroine every day in the book. So yeah, it's just such a special, wonderful book. I think B.K. Borison writes these really unique small town contemporary romances that are also very deeply emotional, sweepingly romantic, and also hard-hitting. Every character in this entire series I feel like is relatable and so beautifully fleshed out. I love each book in the series for different reasons, but Evelyn is absolutely my favorite heroine in the entire series and one of my favorite heroines that I've read about. So she is the epitome of a perfect book girlfriend. So have to shout this one out. I love it so much. Now we can get back to the rest of the video. So I have a couple more book girlfriends to talk about, and they are all from my favorite author, and that is Sophie Lark. So you guys know I love Sophie Lark to absolute pieces. She is one of my favorite authors of all time. I have many, many book tattoos after her books because I enjoy them so much and they all mean so much to me. I just love her books. What I really love about her books is that she writes female empowerment so well in her books. All of her female characters are so powerful in their own way, so it's like impossible not to have them all as my book girlfriends, but I narrowed it down to 4. The first one I feel like is an obvious one, and that is Brutal Prince. This is the first book in her Brutal Birthright series. This is the book that made me strawberry obsessed, okay? Our heroine, Ada, in this book is so incredibly badass. So it is a mafia romance series. Our heroine, Ada, comes from the Italian mafia. Our hero, Callum, comes from the Irish mafia. They do not get along, okay? They don't get along. Heroine, Ada, ends up crashing a party at Callum's house and almost setting his house on fire. Almost. Callum is real pissed, but both of their families do not want a turf war, so they decide to set their children up, Ada and Callum, in an arranged marriage to like combine their families. Neither of them are happy about the situation, okay? And it follows their enemies to lovers romance. Like I said, Ada is so badass. There is a scene in this book, it's not really a spoiler because I feel like it's all over social media right now, but there's a scene in this book where she literally tries to kill Callum, okay? She finds out that he's allergic to strawberries, and on their wedding day, she like covers her mouth with strawberries, and he goes into anaphylactic shock when they kiss on their wedding day. May or may not be the reason I have so many strawberry tattoos. I don't know. That may be why. She's badass. I love her. Another badass heroine, Sloane. Okay, Sloane. It's called Ivan. It is part of her Underworld series. Our heroine is terrifying, but also stunning. Okay, she's a literal assassin. Okay, she is a female assassin who is hired to kill our hero Ivan, who is a mafioso leader in, where are they? Are they in Russia in this book? The location doesn't matter. This is not the point. Our point is that I love Sloane. Okay, she is a perfect book girlfriend. She is sent to kill him, ends up becoming his prisoner. It follows the romance, but she is badass. What is more badass than a female assassin? Okay, I love her, but I'm also terrified by her. But I also adore her. Book girlfriend. I feel like I'm picking a book from each series that she has. The next one is The Savage. So this would be Sabrina's book in the Kingmaker series. The Kingmaker series is an extension of both the Underworld series as well as the Brutal Birthright series. It follows their kids. Absolutely 100% cannot read this series out of order. It ties into every other book that Sophie Lark has pretty much ever written. So there is no way you could read this one because it is the last book. But the entire series follows this kind of like elite college. All of these kids are the daughters and sons of mafia families, and they are sent to this elite university to learn how to run the mafia. Literally. Follows Sabrina. She is the daughter of Nero. His book is Savage Lover, which is one of my favorite books as well. She's a bi queen. Okay, our heroine is bi in this book, and oh my god, the day that Sophie Lark gives us a sapphic romance, I will die. I will literally be on the floor. Y'all need to call 911 to resuscitate me. I will pass out. But in the meantime, we have Sabrina, who's a bi queen. This book is just sexy and I love her. The reason I'm showing you this copy is because this was a limited edition box that she did with like Bookish box. Stunning. Like literally so stunning. But it does have character art. So Sabrina's sexy ass. Oh, you can't see her. Okay, come on, Samantha. Get it together. She's right there. Look at that beautiful cover art. Look. Stunning. She's beauty and she's grace. She's the perfect book girlfriend. And then the last one would be Minx by Sophie Lark. I love this book so much and I love her heroine so much. So her name is Blake and she's basically like an escort for the rich and famous. That is how she meets our hero Ramses. He is a CEO. He is a schmillionaire. Okay, he has shmoney on him. And the second that he meets her, he wants her. He pays for her services, okay? And it follows their romance. It has a light BDSM element to it. They play a lot of games in this book. The power plays, like I said, BDSM dynamic. In this one, our heroine dresses up as a cat, which might sound strange, but it works and it's sexy and I love her. What I also love about Sophie Lark's books is that they are illustrated inside. I don't know if I can show you some of the sexy illustrations. All right, let me try to find one. Nope, they're all pretty sexy. So they're illustrated inside, so it just adds to like the visual experience to them. Most of her books are illustrated and the art is stunning. So yeah, love this book. Perfect book girlfriend. But again, all of our heroines are just so badass. So those are all my book girlfriends. As you can see, I had many, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Nonetheless, if you stayed this long, what is the emoji? What is the emoji? Black hearts to match my sweatshirt. I can't talk today. Drop a bunch of black hearts in the comments down below if you stayed this long. I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I know a lot of people don't love this holiday. They feel like it's commercialized, or if you don't have someone to celebrate it with, it can make you a little sad. But don't think about it that way. Think about it as just loving yourself and the moment and space that you are in. You guys are beautiful, you are kind, and I'm just so happy to have you here. So I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know some of your book girlfriends so I can read about them. And yeah, as always, thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!